Hey guys, this is John from Walton's, and this is how to make peppery au jus jerky. The peppery au jus jerky seasoning is an absolute home run. We've got great amounts of umami flavor in here, which is gonna mean we can use almost any cut of beef, chicken, pork, whatever we wanna use, and make awesome jerky. This is some of the best jerky that I have ever made, and it's made out of bottom round. That is not something I would normally choose to make jerky out of. It's got a little bit higher fat content intramuscularly than I would normally choose, and the flavors aren't quite the same as something like eye of the round. However, this seasoning easily overpowers that and gives us a perfect beef flavor in every single bite. In it, we're gonna have beef broth, butter flavor. We've also obviously got sugar, salt, as we would always have, and a couple other ingredients that put this over the top. I think this could go toe-to-toe with the Walton's bold jerky seasoning and walk away the winner. Now to process it, we took our meat and put it in the freezer for about 30 minutes. We want that meat to get a nice stiffness to it without it freezing all the way through. We put it on our slicer and we set it to just about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. We want it to be nice and thick. After we sliced the entire thing on our 12-inch slicer, it was very important to make sure that we don't get too much of a tail on this. So as you can see, I'm rotating the meat every 5 or 6 turns to prevent that from happening. Then we put all our meat in the Marinade Express Tumbler. We pulled the appropriate amount of vacuum on it, which we just hit the beef button and it will take care of all of that for you. And then we tumbled it for 20 minutes. Now that's 2 beef settings. We want this to pick up as much of that solution as we possibly can. I added 10% of the product's weight in water. So this was a 5-pound batch, so it was 0.5 of a pound of water. I used the appropriate amount of seasoning, and I did add the SureCure. I know there are people out there who don't use SureCure when you're making jerky, and your reasoning is that you're gonna get your water activity so low that nothing can grow on it, but it's like I always say, should wear your seatbelt even if you're just driving around the corner. There's no cost to it, and it keeps you safe. Now, if you have a commercial tumbler, you can probably go right from this step to the smoker. However, we're gonna put it in vacuum bags and leave it in the fridge overnight to allow even more of that liquid to absorb into the meat, transfer that flavor. Then we put in our Walton's 2000 square inch digital dehydrator. We kicked that heat up as high as it would go, which is 193. We left it in there for 15 minutes. We then flipped every one of the racks to make sure that it was heating evenly from back to front. When we're running that or any dehydrator that hot, we wanna make sure that we're getting every piece of meat an equal amount of time at a closer distance to that heat source. So after 30 minutes, we lowered the temperature to 130 degrees and left it in there until it achieved the dryness we were looking for. In this case, that was right around 5 hours. Pull it from the dehydrator and we have delicious jerky, and just in my opinion, although it's an opinion a lot of people at Walton's share, warm jerky right out of the smoker, dehydrator, whatever, there's few things that can beat that, and especially when we're talking about something with this much flavor to it. As soon as you bite into it, you are going to think you're eating a prime rib steak. You're gonna be thinking of your favorite barbecue items of all time. The amount of umami flavor in here is really just perfect for beef jerky. Now, depending on how you slice your jerky, either with or against the grain, you're gonna get different textures. Recently, I've seen more and more people going with the grain instead of against it. Traditionally, I like to go against the grain. It's gonna make for a little bit easier of a bite because we're not chewing against all those muscle grains. We're just breaking across them. But we went across the grain as usual, and we get a great texture as well as flavor. Now we got our water activity on this below 0.8, but we still are gonna vacuum seal it and keep it in a fridge or at least in a nice, cool, dark place until it's time to eat it. With this is no danger. This is all gonna be gone in a matter of days. But if you wanna keep your jerky for long-term storage, nothing wrong with vacuum packing it and throwing it in your deep freezer. Just make sure that you've added SureCure to that. Not adding SureCure to jerky, then putting it in a vacuum bag is a bad idea. As always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and visit waltons.com and meatgistics.com to find everything but the meat. Thanks for watching. I'm John with Waltons, and we'll see you guys next time.
Subscribe to Walton's YouTube channel to check out more meat processing videos. Shop waltons.com to find everything but the meat. Or check out more hand-picked videos by clicking here or clicking here.